Cleaning season is here, and while you're cleaning your house, maybe it's time also to tidy up your tech.
Yeah, digital clutter, no different than physical clutter, and it can weigh down your mental health. I know. This morning we are getting some expert help from organizing coach at Life Done Simply, Amy Olson. Nice to see you, Amy.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Okay, so despite not taking up physical space, digital clutter can still weigh us down. I think it was about a year ago, Kelly, remember when I said I was going to clear out my email, which I did. Got it down to basically zero. And I am now at 1,000 some emails. How does this happen? You know,
Amy,
it's like
Amy,
so many
help
decisions to make. Help us out.
Well, it's obviously a really common issue. Email, I think a lot of the times we always think it's pointless to scale it down. Email is searchable. It's a file, so we start to think of it as a file box.
Yeah.
It's fine. I at least know where it is, right? But the mistake we make is we're not really treating the emails as actionable or a reference. And so my recommendation is, one, stop treating your email like a file box, like an archive. It's not a to-do list. So what I would recommend doing is taking your actionable email. So if you open up an email and there's an action you need to take, transferring that to some kind of a project management system. Now that doesn't have to be a digital project management system, though I do love Trello, I do love Asana, but a notebook, a calendar, whatever really works for you for to-do. Then at least when you open up your email the next time, you're not faced with all these to-dos, right? It's really you're there to communicate versus action.
All right, so that's on the email, and I would think you too. You gotta start slow. Like it's not like, okay, one day you're going to delete the 15,000 emails you have. You also say social media can kind of bog us down. Is that just with notifications and that, or what do you mean by that?
It is. A lot of people think, oh, okay, it's a no-brainer. Shut the notifications off. I don't need to be getting pinged every time Facebook, Instagram, Twitter wants my attention. But in a lot of cases, those tools will actually kind of readjust their settings. And then what happens is we start to get more notifications, right? These tools will notice that you're not there. You're not engaging. So that attention economy is really big. And so I would take 5 minutes, go through your social media and set no notifications. If social media is part of your job, obviously, then you might need those notifications, but shut them off.
Okay, all right, good to know. Okay, now we're going to tackle the desktop. How can we clean that up?
Yeah, so just think about in the morning, what's the first thing you do? You either open up your computer or you look at your phone. How many icons are staring at you the second you open up that technology? That has a real effect on us. The researchers have said, just like physical clutter, that digital clutter, those files that are coating your desktop, they're really competing for attention in our brain, and it's eliminating the ability to focus and be creative. So I would recommend using your desktop on your computer as a workspace. So think about at the beginning of each day, it's fairly clear. Maybe you have a small file structure that you can dump some files into as you're working. At the end of the day, just like you would your desk, or hopefully just like you would with your desk, you're clearing those files, right? And so you're starting new each day.
All right, this is kind of like a personal thing. We talked about Alex's emails. Digital, on the desktop, digital photos. I do this all the time. I save a photo on the desktop because I don't want to take the time to put it in an individual folder, in an individual year. Digital photos are great, but Amy, how can we, it's a process to start doing that. How can we do that? What are some tips so we can kind of start that process of really decluttering the digital photo?
Yeah, well, definitely don't be paralyzed by perfection. And that is what happens with a lot of digital clutter, right? As long as we keep it there, we know it's there, and we're not worried about, being able to find it in the future. But get yourself familiar with a cloud-based backup system, whether you use PC, Mac, or you're using a separate file system like Dropbox, or one that I love with photos is called forever.com. It's a fantastic way to just automatically upload photos, and then they're backed up permanently, and you can go through and organize your files in there. But I think with our camera rolls on our phone or whether it be on a laptop, it's really about establishing a practice of really going through those. So what I love is if I'm in an elevator or mindlessly, riding with someone in traffic, instead of grabbing social media, I'll go through my camera roll and really kind of curate weekly and just, oh, that's right, I took a picture of that meal, but of course I don't want to keep that forever, right? So just establishing that practice that, hey, I'm just going to go through and delete some photos.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not going to get through all 4,000 photos in a week, and I don't recommend that. It's really about establishing a practice where it becomes second nature.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense. You got time to kill, you might as well be useful, right?
Right.
Amy Olson, thank you so much. We appreciate kind of picking your brain there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
You can find more decluttering ideas on her website, lifedonesimply.com.